not really a public speaker, so I have notes because I can't speak. But as Dave alluded to, I would always, Chris was my brother, not my stepbrother. And I think it was John, maybe, who mentioned today that he didn't even realize that we were actually step-siblings. Because Chris, we just loved each other like sister, brother, brother, brother. That's just how our family was. And yeah, just so the history, I think Dave mentioned, was that we've been a blended family for about 23 years now, I think. And Chris was, definitely my brother and fully loved. I remember when our families first came together, obviously Chris was maybe 10 years older than me, so I was kind of in my early 20s, and we didn't know each other at all. I was in Houston at the time at grad school, and I remember Chris came down for the weekend, and that was really the first time that we spent quality time together and really got to know each other. And in great Chris fashion, we went and saw the birdcage. We were in the very front row of the theater because it was packed, and Dave alluded to Chris's laugh. You guys all know Chris's laugh. So we're in the front row, and guffaw is like the best word I could. He just would laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh. We went to a champagne brunch. And it was actually that weekend that Chris told me he was gay, and I was like, so? Never bothered, never affected me whatsoever, fully loved my brother, fully accepted, always. And Dave mentioned how talented Chris was. As you all know, he was sort of a Renaissance man, multi-talented. I don't know if some of you know, but he went to massage therapy school and gives like the best massages ever. Those big, warm hands, Dave got to benefit from that a lot because he lived in Chicago at the time, so Chris practiced on him all the time. I missed out, but I did get one. That was amazing. He was our family chef. Chris was an amazing cook. Basically, all family get-togethers, Chris was the cook and the chef. I was a sous chef sometimes. I needed a lot of help, but I will never forget a chorizo strata that he made one year for Christmas. Every time I make it, I will always forever remember Chris. Musician. This is a good story. So when we were in Chicago, he was helping with the production of Hair, and bought some family and friends tickets, and we were in almost the front row, I think, very small theater. And I had never seen Hair, didn't know anything about Hair, and Chris knew this. So I got no warning, and so I think it's maybe right before intermission, maybe, is when the guy, pants go down, full frontal, and I'm 3 feet from him. It's like a very small theater, so Chris had a really good time with that. Because he was like, I knew you would know. And then gardener. Chris was an excellent gardener, and I know you guys know he got his house in Freeport, and so excited about that house and the pictures and the dreams he had for that house, and I know he just loved it. It was his haven, and I was excited for him to be able to enjoy that house. But talking about family, I pretty much have spent every Christmas with Chris. So it's going to be different moving forward, not to have that. And you'll see pictures, actually that's what I'm going to refer to right now, with us in these crazy hats. So we did a few sibling weekends and went to San Francisco a couple times, and this was I think around Thanksgiving one year, and we just decided to all wear crazy hats, because that's, whatever, it's San Francisco, you can do whatever you want. And so it's like a random Saturday night in November, and we're all wearing these random hats, and people are like, what are you doing? What's up? What are you dressed up for? We're like, it's our sibling weekend. Duh. Don't you all wear hats when you all get together? So anyways, we had a good time. So I am a single mom to a 1-year-old, and I have to say it's bittersweet to not have Chris here, because I was really excited about him being a male presence in my son's life, and very just, passing along all of his Chris to Gabe. But I don't know if you guys, like Dave mentioned, we lost our parents and now Chris, and I don't know, there's certain things that make me think of someone if they passed. And for me, it's always a robin. When I see a robin, I always think of Chris. I think of when I see a cardinal, I think of my dad. When I see a robin, I think of Chris. And I think it's just that big barrel chest, like it just makes me think of Chris. Like it's just like I'm here, and so you see a robin, maybe. And it's referring to his friends here, really his family. When we were with Chris the last 3 days before he died, Dennis was there, and we all came in. We had met with the hospice and some different, the nursing home administrators and things like that. And Dennis and Dave and I walked in, and Chris just had this big grin on his face, and he was like, "You're thick as thieves." And I was like, "What?" And he was like, "I love it. You're thick as thieves." Like he just loved that Dave and I were getting to meet his good friends, and so we're so happy that you guys are here, and we get to meet all of you today. But you guys are definitely his family. I just want to finish about kind of on Chris, the man, like who he was. Never known a more loving, kind, or generous person. Even if he didn't have a cent to spare, he would give you the shirt off of his back. He never would say a bad word about anyone. If someone was treating him unfairly, he was always loving and forgiving. He just wanted to be loved and to love. And when I was at his house in Freeport, when we were there, I found a plaque on the wall that had an inscription that said, "Life is not measured by the number of breaths you take, but by the moments that take your breath away." And I just want to challenge all of you to make those moments in your life. And I haven't been to I haven't been to a lot of movies since I had Gabe. I've been to one. And I don't know if you guys know, but when Chris would go to a movie, he always would stay for the credits. Always. He would sit until the credits. It used to annoy the crap out of me. I'm like, the movie is over. Let's go. But now, and I did this when I went to the movie. I want to honor Chris, and I want to stay for the credits. And I would encourage you to stay for the credits. Sit, relax, let the credits roll by, and think of Chris, my brother, your friend, your coworker, and think of how our lives just continue to roll by, just like the credits. Don't miss it. Enjoy it. Make the most of it. Love and be loved.
Thank you.